Hey everyone, today I'm going to show you how to depot your MAC eyeshadows. Before you go through all this, check with your local MAC counter or store and make sure that they are going to let you return the pots without this piece in it. Because see what this looks like? It's all like cracked and destroyed. So we're not going to be returning this piece. I'm just going to return these pots, and not everyone will give you the same answer on this. My particular MAC counter manager told me that he will take these back with just this piece here, but not everyone is going to say yes. So make sure that you that they're going to accept that before you go through all this. Okay, so what are you going to need? You're going to need an old knife that you don't care if it gets bent. You're going to need a pair of cutting pliers. You're going to need, of course, your MAC eyeshadows and a MAC palette to put it in when you're done. You're going to need some magnets to go on the back of the eyeshadows so that you can put it in the MAC palette. These are pretty thick. Okay, here's one out of the package. These are pretty thick, so these are not going to sit flush all the way down in my palette. I'm okay with that because I can still close the cover, but if that bothers you, you can find, you know, a magnet that's thinner, or you can buy like a sheet of magnet material and you can cut them to fit. There's a number of options. You can get this kind of thing at craft stores. You're going to need isopropyl alcohol, a plastic or a glass dish to put it in, and then to make the labels for the inside of the palette, I'm just going to use a plain piece of paper, cut it to fit, and then take some Scotch tape and like double it over, stick it on the back of the paper, and stick it on the cover of the palette. Now, the reason why I prefer to do it this way rather than buy labels is because, number one, it's cheaper, and number two, if I change my mind at some point, I can just rip this piece of paper off and make another one. If you put a label on there, it may not peel off. You may have like backing all over the back of it, so you're probably better off making your own labels like that. See what I'm talking about as far as these? They stick up a little bit. They don't go right into those holes. But it makes it really easy to take them out too. The kind that you buy that are already in the pan and not the pot are going to sink right into that hole, and it's not really that easy to get them out without damaging the eyeshadow. But anyways, let's get into it before I run out of time here. So you're going to take an eyeshadow, and on the front of the lid, well, on the front of the pot here, where the lid closes, is like a little indentation. You're going to stick your knife in that indentation. Actually, I'm trying to do it so that you guys can see it, but I have to do it so that my hand doesn't slip. Okay, hopefully you can see that. Right in that groove there, and then just twist the knife just a little bit. They usually just pop right off. Well, I never had one like this before. There we go. Okay. Okay, this just pops right off. Okay? So this is the piece you're going to bring back to MAC. And then this is the piece that we're going to try to work with. Now see, there's a pan in there. You're going to make two cuts, one on each of the sides. See how there's indentations here? Doesn't matter which side you use, but you're going to make two cuts right into the plastic. And you don't just want to cut this top part, you want it to crack in so that you get a little bit of cracking right into this part here. Let me show you what I mean. Actually, let me clear some of this junk out of the way here. I worked on this last night and I'm working on it again today, and it's actually kind of fun in a way. It's messy, but it's fun. Okay, so you want to get a good grip on here and clamp down on this. Try to get your pliers as close to the pan as possible without actually going into the pan. And clamp down as hard as you can until you hear like a crunching or a popping sound. Okay, I don't know if you could hear that, but it cracked all the way through the plastic, which is exactly what you want. And then we're going to make one down here. Alright, so I can tell by that crunchy noise that I went all the way through. Now what I want to do is grab a hold in the middle between the cuts and just try to bend that piece just a little bit backwards. Okay, now I bent the plastic back just a little bit so that there's a slight opening here between the pan and the plastic. So what you want to do is take your knife and just get some alcohol on it and just ease that down into that crevice. Now if you get some alcohol on the eyeshadow, don't worry, it's not going to hurt it at all. I'm just going to try to put a little bit more in there. And what's happening is, the reason why we're doing this is the alcohol is going to melt the glue that's underneath the pan. There's tons of glue underneath there, and this will loosen it up just a little bit. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take our knife, stick it down in that seam, and try to like get underneath that pan and pry it up a little bit if you can. Okay. See, so that alcohol loosens the glue just enough that I could get my pan out of there. And then this piece we're just going to throw away. Okay, so now all you have to do, see on the back there's like glue. Just take a Q-tip with some alcohol and just rub the back until you take all that glue off. Now this is actually going to take a while. This is the part that is kind of time consuming, so I'm probably not going to show you this whole step on camera. Yeah, see, so it takes a while to do that part, and but you get the gist of it, okay? And then you take one of these magnets, peel the little piece of paper off the back, stick it on the back of your eyeshadow, and pop it in the palette. And that's how I depot my MAC eyeshadows. And as you can see, the eyeshadow looks fine, the pan looks fine, but you know, when you first start doing this, it is a little bit tricky and awkward. So if you accidentally damage one of your eyeshadows, don't worry about it. Just take some alcohol, take a small amount of alcohol, and now let's pretend this was all like cracked and broken or whatever. Just take some alcohol, put a little bit on top, and then take a Q-tip or your finger and just smooth it out, because the alcohol is going to soften up the eyeshadow so that you can almost mold it with your finger. And then let it dry and it'll be good as new. So that's it. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below in the description box. See ya!